All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at a story called Warnings Were Given. And it's all about that breaking point, That exact moment a leader just decides, okay, enough talk. It's time for action. So, let's get right into it.
So what is the real difference between a warning and a threat? I mean, really think about it. A warning, it's kind of there to protect you, right? Like, hey, don't touch that stove, it's hot. But a threat, well, that's all about control. You do this or else. In the story we're unpacking today, we're going to see a leader walk right up to that line and then just step right over it. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're breaking down this really dramatic speech where that line is drawn and then totally crossed. We're going to look at the exact words, the people who push back, and, what happens when that final warning just gets ignored.
Okay, so our story kicks off at a place called Brookdale School. The head teacher, a guy named Mr. Cole, he calls this big assembly. But listen, this is no ordinary don't forget your homework kind of meeting. Oh no. He's there to confront a problem that he believes is just rotting the school from the inside out. And that problem? A complete and total lack of respect.
And he doesn't just talk in vague terms either. He gets super specific. He lays out exactly what he's seen and heard. Students just laughing their heads off during lessons, shouting across classrooms, and, deliberately trying to disrupt everything. For him, this isn't just a few kids acting out. No, he sees it as a full-blown culture of chaos that's making it impossible for anyone to actually learn.
And then he drops this line, "Their job is not to spend half the lesson begging you for silence." Wow, I mean, that's so powerful, right? Because he's making it clear this isn't about him. He's standing up for his staff. He's saying their job is to teach, not to waste their time pleading with students just to be quiet. You can just feel the frustration boiling over in that one sentence.
So, okay, he's laid out the problem, right? And now you can just feel the shift in his tone. The time for asking nicely, that's over. Now he's not asking, he's demanding.
In this next line, this is the pivot point for the whole thing. He says, "You have mistaken kindness for weakness." Whoa, just think about what he's doing there. He's completely reframing history. He's saying, all those times we let things slide, that wasn't us being weak. That was us being kind, and you took advantage of it. The message couldn't be clearer. The kindness is all gone.
And look at how he builds this. It's so deliberate. First, he acknowledges the past, right? He says you've had chance after chance. Then, bam, he drops the new rule, zero tolerance. And before anyone can even think of arguing, he shuts it down. This is not a debate. And finally, he lays out the stakes, crystal clear. There will be serious, immediate, and unavoidable consequences. He leaves absolutely no wiggle room.
And that's it. That's the final word. The line in the sand has been drawn. The time for warnings is officially over.
But here's the thing, right? A warning is just words until it gets tested. And believe me, the test comes, and it comes fast. We're talking immediately after, in this totally chaotic Year 10 science class.
And what we see here is this incredible contrast in authority styles. I mean, it's night and day. On one side, you've got the teacher, Miss Patel, and she's practically begging her class to listen. Her voice is just getting swallowed up by all the noise. And then you have Mr. Cole's approach. We're talking direct commands, absolute authority. It's just a perfect illustration of two totally different ways to wield power.
But you gotta pay attention to how he comes in. He doesn't yell, he doesn't make a big scene. He just walks in, stands there, and quietly says he's just observing. I mean, talk about a power move. He's basically just letting them hang themselves with their own rope. He's making every single person in that room feel the weight of his silence. The test is on, and the crazy part is, they have no idea they're already failing it. So yeah, the test has been failed, spectacularly. And now, just like he promised, it's time for the consequence. The observation period is officially over.
And get this, it's only been 3 hours. 3 hours. That's it. Just 3 hours since every single student in that school heard his final warning. So this isn't just quick defiance, it's brazen. And Mr. Cole knows, he absolutely knows, his response has to be just as fast and just as decisive.
And Mr. Cole even says it out loud. It is as if that assembly never happened. And that line, it just perfectly captures both his disappointment and his resolve, doesn't it? See, that's not just him thinking out loud. That's the justification for what he's about to do. He's thinking, okay, you're going to act like my warning never happened? Fine. I'm going to act like you deserve the full consequence I promised.
And his response is so fast and so methodical. It's like a 3-step process. Step 1, the verdict. He just points out the students who ignored him.
Step 2, the sentence. Boom, they're sent to isolation for the rest of the week. And step 3, the example. He makes it clear to everyone else in the room why this is happening. Just like that, the warning he gave in the assembly is now very, very real. No debate, no negotiation, done.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? What's the lesson we're supposed to pull from this really intense showdown at Brookdale?
Well, it really comes down to this. The lesson is clear. A warning's power is tied directly to the certainty of its consequence. Think about it. Mr. Cole's words in that assembly, they were just words until he walked into that science class and backed them up with action. Without that follow-through, his whole speech would have just been more noise. The real authority wasn't in the warning itself, but in the absolute 100% certainty that he was going to enforce it.
And really, that's the question we want to leave you with. Yeah, this story is about a school, but the lesson here is universal, isn't it? I mean, this applies to everything. Parenting, running a business, even politics. It's this fundamental question of leadership. At what point do warnings just stop meaning anything? At what point does action become the only language anyone understands? It's definitely something to think about.